CBA as it is used in Burkina Faso. CBA or competency-based approach has been used in Burkina Faso since 2022. However, Burkinabe English teachers still struggle to implement it effectively in the classroom. In this video, I'm going to show you the easiest way to use the CBA smoothly while reaching all your teaching objectives. This video is a complete guide through the different stages and steps of a learning session. Stick around to the end because at the end of the video, I'm sharing with you a tip that will definitely help you avoid a mistake many teachers make when using the CBA. If you are new, be sure to subscribe because on this very channel, a video like this is published every week. Today's video is about a learning session for first cycle and the class level is that of 3e class or Form 4. But before even thinking of using the CBA in the classroom, there are 5 conditions you need to meet first as a teacher. Condition number 1 is you need a minimum knowledge of competency-based education. Since it is a new teaching approach, you need to explore it and understand it. However, in case you know nothing about it, don't worry. I have included a complete course on the CBA in the description of this video. So go down there and download it. Condition number 2 is your lessons must align with the curriculum or teaching guide. You have to go through the curriculum and select a unit and design lessons from it. By doing this, you are not only teaching what you want, but also what the educational authorities want you to teach. In the curriculum for 3e, we have 8 units which are as follows: love and marriage celebrations, food and health, migrations, heroes, the environment, training and jobs, tolerance, literature and civilization. The unit we have selected for this lesson is food and health. Condition number 3 is you have to bear in mind students' exit profiles. Student exit profiles are actually the goal of your teaching. When you know students' exit profile, then you know where you are going and your teaching becomes more meaningful. If you are not sure about knowing students' exit profile, you will find a definition in the course I put in the description of this video. Condition number 4 is never teach without planning first. Take lesson planning seriously. I know it's not easy to plan every lesson, but you know what? Only serious teachers plan their lessons. And to facilitate it for you, I'd suggest that you plan your lessons during the long vacation. From June to September, you have quite enough time to plan all your lessons before classes resume in October. Condition number 5, you need to know how to assess competencies. In competency-based education, you do not just evaluate students' knowledge, but you assess their competencies. Learn how to assess competencies in the course I put in the description. It's for you and it's free of charge. Now that you meet all the conditions, let us dive into the lesson I prepared for you. This is what a learning session plan looks like. You have 3 main parts. 1. Heading information. 2. Discovery phase, including the introductory stage and the input stage. 3. The practice phase, including the manipulation stage. 1. The heading information. It includes the date, directorate and school info, teacher info, that is the name of the teacher and contact, class info, including the level and the size, lesson info, including the type and title, the unit. As I told you, the unit is food and health, language main skill is speaking, integrated skill is writing, the language functions expressing likes and dislikes, making suggestions and expressing opinions. If it is too much for your students, you can drop one function. Lesson objectives. My students will be listing foodstuffs, answering food-related questions. The grouping mode is individually and in pairs. The teaching aids or materials are chalk, chalkboard, duster, realia, etc. The duration is 55 minutes or 1 hour. As a teacher, you need to know that there is no activity to do here. This is just information about your class and your teaching. Second part, the discovery phase. This is where the activities actually start. It includes a certain number of stages. The first one is the introductory stage, including the warm-up, the learning context, and anything that can help introduce the lesson. The warm-up may be a song, a story that you tell, a proverb, a question, etc. Anything. The learning context just help your students engage more in the lesson. And as an example of a learning context, your European friend wants to come to your country, but they wonder if they will really enjoy your food. You decide to make a list of the types of food that are eaten in your area. What types of food will your list contain? So here you ask the class to brainstorm as many different types of food they know, local and international. Write these on the board in 2 columns. Local food and international food. You may ask additional questions and even help them with some types of food. The second stage is the input stage. This is where students get knowledge. You may teach vocabulary or grammar or both. As vocabulary points, the food and vegetable group, the milk group, the egg, meat group, the grain group. It is a combination of several types of foods that make a dish or a meal. Examples of local dishes, you have benga, kazanga, to, atike, rice, etc. In terms of grammar, you may decide to show the difference between countable and uncountable nouns. Now, the practice phase. As part of the practice phase, 2 activities. The first activity is a combination of 3 questions. So I group the students in pairs, and the questions are: what is your favorite food? How often do you eat it? What do you dislike and why? So students discuss with their partners using the target vocabulary and structures. The teacher monitors and offers support when needed, correcting pronunciation and providing feedback. The second activity is called healthy eating. It's a class discussion. This is the teacher and the students, but you can also make small groups. In this activity, the teacher asks the students to share what they think are healthy eating habits. So the teacher encourages them to use phrases like "I think," "in my opinion," and to give reasons for their opinions. Example, the students may speak about hygienic measures to take, or selecting natural and ripe fruit, or the risks that we run. Or they can also talk about safe food content. For example, the food we eat should not contain too much oil or salt or sugar to avoid any health hazards, etc. And then the teacher writes the key points on the board to summarize. There are some optional insights that I propose. For example, you can bring in a fruit like an apple and ask the students, before eating this, what do you do first? Normally, they should tell you that they must first wash their hands with clean water and soap, and even wash the fruit. Because it is an apple, you can wash the apple with clean water and soap. And there are other questions. For example, how do we make dough? What do we use to make dough? Normally, they should be able to tell you, or the class, that we use corn flour to make dough. We use maize powder to make dough, etc. These are optional activities. Now you give them homework, like in a piece of writing of about 80 words, explain why we should eat. And then you take your administrative duties and you close the class. Now there are 2 mistakes teachers make when teaching. 1. They speak too much. They speak even more than their students. No, make your lesson in such a way that your students speak more than you. Just revise your prompts, your questions, your techniques, and make them speak more than you. And the second mistake is the closing. Normally, teachers, they summarize the key points and they say goodbye. Some even don't summarize. They just go out. But what I propose is ask your students to tell you what they have learned. What is the new thing that you have learned during this lesson? And they must be able to tell you what they have learned. And this is a very good way to assess learning outcomes. Now you have to find a technique to do that. You can do that by writing, you can do that orally, you can do that by raising hands. I don't know. Find the suitable technique to do that. My goal on this channel is to help you become a good teacher and educator. A good teacher teaches well, and an educator shows the way. So be a teacher that is both good and an educator. Please, if you have questions or suggestions, make them in the comment section. And don't forget to go down there and download your course. Thank you for watching. See you next time.